What's happening, guys? Happy Sunday, and welcome to the On the Clock edition of the Dynasty WarZone. Tonight, we are in the middle of live rookie drafts. The NFL draft just ended, but let me bring in my co-host. He wears number 1 on his shirt, and he is the 101 in my heart. You know him better as the man of the hour and the man with the power, Jerry Sinclair. Buddy, how you feeling?
I am good. I am like the Corey Davis 101. You know, it looks good until it starts talking and it starts doing stuff, but I am absolutely wonderful. We are several hours removed from the single greatest day on the Dynasty calendar, my friend, the NFL draft, because we all get to set rosters and we all get to trade during fantasy football and we all get to draft if you want to draft, if you're a best ball player. But we're a dynasty show and we're dynasty players at heart. We're snobs. And the one difference that we get is the NFL draft and rookie drafts. And Randy, I think I got 4 going on right now, maybe 5. I got one that's already through the first round. I got others that are going to be coming up in the queue over the next couple of months. My God, the blood is flowing to all of the places that you can't see if you are watching on YouTube, which is good for YouTube because otherwise we would be banned. Randy, you can't match my joy. How are you?
Dude, I am great. National holiday. Jumped on the live stream with the boys from Player Profiler on Friday night. The Thursday night, I'll be honest, it was, and that's going to tie into good people, bad tweets, but day 2 is the best day for what we do for the game that we play, Dynasty Fantasy Football. Game 2, without question, day 2 is without question the best day because it's that perfect merge of the talent we like, getting the draft capital that's required. Well, not to say required, but really helps. And I'm going to be honest, the picks go so much goddamn quicker.
That is the best part.
You know, it was a good draft. I think Green Bay did a good job. I thought it was smart. Like, the Podfather said he didn't unintentionally pick Tampa Bay over Green Bay. He couldn't get a house big enough for everybody that, goes with the people on camera behind the scenes and all that goes into the Player Profiler draft house. Now, next year, Jerry, they're in Pittsburgh. They're in the Berg. That's a drivable trip for me. I'm going to attempt in 2026 to hit the Berg and hit the draft house. We got to get you out to the draft house.
So that'll be April 2026. I will be just short of leaving this wretched corn state. The missus will graduate in the middle of May. I think our lease runs up in June, and then so I'll just be missing it.
Yeah, well, that sounds worth it to get out of Iowa. Get back to the murder mitten that is Michigan. Well, listen, we got a jam-packed show. Don't want to make this intro any longer than it needs to be. I'm going to run a fast draft spot, and I want to talk about Fast Drafts Origin Chaos Part 2 right after this.
Rookie. It's all about rookie talk in fantasy football right now. So why not go use all that knowledge to do something other than a mock draft? Chris Jimino won $8,000 with just 2 teams last year, and each draft took 5 minutes. That's pretty good ROI. You can start doing rookie drafts for money today on Fast Draft. The Origins tournament is live. It is the place to go and monetize your knowledge of rookies and use your favorite Player Profiler host promo code for a $25 deposit match. Now let's go start drafting faster.
Yeah, and not only can you get into the Origins Rookie Chaos Part 2, so there was Origins, which was pre-NFL draft. They released Origins 1 the week of the NFL draft, and it filled up in record time. This will not last long. I don't currently know the percentage at which it's full. By the time you hear the audio podcast, it could be full. But if you've heard about it, been wanting to try it, go to the Fast Draft app, Google Play, Apple App Store, download it, sign up, use promo code WarZone, all one spelling, WARZONE. It'll get you a dollar for dollar match up to $50. So you deposit 50, you get 50. And go backwards from there to like 0. If you deposit 5, they'll match you 5. That's better than a sharp stick in the eye. So we got to get going. Got a lot going on, Jerry. But the last couple of shows, we have not had good people, bad tweets, but leave it to something as big as the NFL draft to create a cornucopia, a bonanza, a plethora of bad tweets that we can discuss right here on the show. And I want to hit you with one from a former guest of this show, friend of the show, Heath Cummings, at Heath Cummings SSR. At Heath Cummings Senior. That's the two S's, Cummings Senior. Anyway, so obviously he watched the first round of the rookie draft, and he tweeted at 10:22 p.m. on Thursday night, rookie picks in shambles. Jerry.
No.
Were rookie picks ever in shambles?
No. I mean, so what? He tweeted that right after the Emeka Egbuka pick. I guess I could see that argument if you're not in the waiting game, but I don't really think what we got 2 good tight end spots. We got what? Five running back spots.
No, not day one. Day one, you had 2 running backs, 2 wide receivers, and 2 tight ends. I think, if I remember.
That's what I mean. What more do you want?
Well, but it's like I would expect someone that's been doing this as long as Heath to understand, like we said in the intro of the show, that the meat and potatoes of the Dynasty Draft World's night 2. And sure enough, you get Travion Henderson to the Patriots. You get Luther Burden to the Bears. You get Quinshon Judkins to the Brown, and on and on and on and on. This is why hyperbole kills. Yeah, would we have liked to have seen more guys in the first round from a skill position standpoint? Was the Colts and the Bears the best spot for Loveland and Warren? Maybe not. But in Superflex tight end premium,
no, but
they were far from shambles.
100%. And would you rather have a tight end on the Chargers, or would you rather have it be Omarion Hampton? I'm going to guess every single Dynasty player would have said they would rather have Omarion Hampton running with Jim Harbaugh. And that's what we got. So yes, we took a hit when it came to a tight end position. But
see, I disagree. The tight end position's fine because
I agree. That's what I'm saying. Those ended up fine. I would rather one of our mother effing stud running backs like Omarion Hampton end up with Jim frickin' Harbaugh. Are you kidding me? That's gold.
And if you play tight end premium, Arroyo and oh my gosh, I'm drawing Fanning Jr. and Ferguson. These guys all got good landing spots. So if Colston Loveland or Tyler Warren had went to one of the good landing spots, we wouldn't have as many premium tight ends because we were picking Tyler Warren and Colston Loveland anyway. So now there's more tight ends with good draft capital and good spots that we can go get. By the way, I do have a second good people, bad tweets to jump on real quick. This is going to go directly into our draft. So let's get this one out of the way. Now, Jerry, this one right here, you're going to love. This one was from Marcus. This one was from Marcus Mosier. And old Marcus, I think he's famous for following the Cowboys. And he said Travis Hunter's dynasty value just took a major in all caps hit. And I'll be honest, I replied to this, and it's the most, because I'm not, like you notice, I'm not verified on Twitter. I don't chase the clout. I'm not trying to get $8 via check from Uncle Elon every quarter for engagement. It's just not how I roll. It's not what I do. But I'm like, this did get a lot of engagement, and it was like, what are you talking about? They've got Brian Thomas Jr. and who? And here's my thing is they didn't go up and give up all they gave up to have that man play defensive back.
No.
He literally became the wide receiver 1 in this class with that draft pick.
Yes.
And it's like, let's just say Trevor Lawrence throws the ball 550 times this year. I think that's low given that it's a Liam Cohen offense. But let's say 550, okay?
Yep.
And Jerry, do you still like Brian Thomas Jr.?
I do.
I do too. Can Brian Thomas Jr. get 550 targets?
No, he cannot.
150 targets?
No.
Okay, so what you're saying is, just by doing a little simple back of the napkin math here, there's more than enough targets left in that offense for Travis Hunter to absolutely feast.
100%.
Feast.
No,
And
okay, if we
go
right,
off, King. This is your guy.
Let's say Travis Hunter goes number 2 to Cleveland. Do you feel better about it? No. We got, I mean, we know now that we have Dylan Gabriel and Shedeur Sanders, a 5th-round pick, which is fucking wild.
Yeah, we're gonna save that to the end.
As a person that was not a fan of Shedeur Sanders, not in a 1,000 universes did I expect that. Good God. I thought for sure that guy at the latest was going like the first pick of the 2nd round. Anyway, crazy story. But no, that's a piss poor ass situation for Travis Hunter to go to. The trade up to Jacksonville made it exponentially better because now you got 2 dogs that can catch the rock. You have Trevor Lawrence. You can hate Trevor Lawrence. He's better than whatever the hell Cleveland's going to run. He's better than Russell Wilson or anybody that the Giants were going to end up taking later on, which they ended up taking Jackson Dart, which is fine, but I would rather have Trevor Lawrence than Jackson Dart. I mean, the situation is just exponentially better. There's no way. And what did they say all night? Wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver, wide receiver. And that's going to be the play. Oh my God. And if you're in an IDP league and I'm going to get those Travis Hunter points from my DB slot, oh, daddy, talk to me dirty.
Yeah, former producer of the show and big-time Family Guy, Kevin Smick, in the chat, talking about that very same thing, that he is, in fact, DB eligible on IDP leagues, and he's wanting to know, is he the 101 in that?
I'm not mad at you.
I'm not either, especially given how much longer the career arc and the premier fantasy point scoring arc is of a lot of players. But yeah, Jerry, I wanted to bring this one up because I know Travis Hunter was your guy, and by the way, where Memphis was right, where Memphis was wrong, I was wrong. I did not see Travis Hunter playing a lot of wide receiver at the NFL. Jerry never backed down from that stance. Go back and listen to several of our previous Are you writing that down? Are you writing that down?
No.
I admitted
I already no.
At the 12-minute mark, I admitted I was wrong.
I got all the mocks written down. I know where I took them. I know I was nice to them.
So but it does feel good. Good people, bad tweets is back. I thought that one, Jerry, was just a little absurd,
I agree. I mean, the chat tends to agree with Heath, and I'm gonna say I don't really get why. Like the end of the 1st round, because we're gonna do a mock draft. If you're listening, we all know you're horny.
We were now, but we have so many live drafts going on. That's what I'm trying to get to is get to some live drafts because I'm on the clock. I'm gonna make a pick on the clock.
Let me just say, like I understand that the end of the 1st, once you get past like 107, 108, it's a little iffy. But also, if you're in a tight end premium league, who's really upset about Amarian Hampton? Like, Najee Harris is there. Okay, welcome to Dynasty. There's more than one body that's going to be in a backfield. Najee Harris is signed to a 1-year deal. Be a little more patient with me here. Like, we're talking about Jim Harbaugh, who is absolutely bona fide known for running the rock. And you got one of the top assets at running back with 1st-round draft capital, who's an unbelievable pass catcher, going to Jim Harbaugh's offense after they just drafted a 1st-round left tackle last year. And they've got a unbelievable offensive line. If you watched Michigan play, the national champion Michigan Wolverines, mind you, they did it on the backs of a great offensive line. That's how he's going to do it. That's how he did it for the 49ers also. Good spot. You just got to wait a little bit. And then you're going to look at Travion Henderson's going to be in the middle of your 1st-round pick. Okay, Ramondre Stevenson. Who gets excited about Ramondre Stevenson? Anybody? No.
I wasn't wrong about that guy.
No, he's been mid as hell. I mean, he got touchdowns because he was also the only person that was there. So I have an unbelievable pass catching back in a system with a quarterback. They still don't have tons of pass catching options. Guess who Drake May's going to look to? Hi, Travion. Okay, Quinshawn Judkins. Out goes Nick Chubb. Insert Nick Chubb Jr. Perfect.
I I think that might be it. Maybe you're on good people, bad takes. We'll get into that in just a second. Let's give both these tweets. They can share one dose of Dana White.
How fucking stupid you have to be to even think something like that, let alone say it publicly and act like you're fucking serious.
All right, Jerry, let's get into actual live drafts. Now, you are in our patron group chat Saturday night. You were in a league with like an old home league with the boys, and you guys have already kicked it off.
Yeah.
Now we also started 4 of our 19 patron leagues. We just started those within the last couple of hours. So, and then I'm also in the Ultimate Dynasty Podcasters League. So between the two of us, we're in anywhere from 1 to 5 drafts. So in your home league with buddies that don't create content, what's the format? What were the first few picks? What did you notice coming out immediately out of the NFL draft?
Okay, so it is a superflex draft. It's only 0.5 PPR, and it is 0.5 tight end premium. But for a little caveat about the tight end premium, we are just switching to that now. And a few of them play in leagues that have tight end premium, but not all of them. So a lot of them do not know the impact. So I already knew I was going to end up with the tight ends because I was the one that was going to know that they have an increased value. Thanks, nerds. Go outside. So first couple of picks, chalk. From what I've seen in just about every one of my drafts, you are looking at Ashton Genty, you're looking at Omarion Hampton, you're looking at Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, and Travion Henderson seems to be 105. Now, Randall, you had a draft where Tet went very early, which I think is a little crazy.
Well, we'll cover that right now then. So I've already told these guys I was, I'm bringing this one and I'm throwing out names. So it be's what it is. There are no anonymous NFL sources here. These are real guys, and if you draft them, say it with your chest, right? Say it with your chest. So this was Chief Sosa. If you know Chief from the Dynasty Bros, he had the 101. Jerry, do you have any guesses of who he took?
Ashton Genty.
Man, you check out the big brain on Jerry. Yes, that is correct. And I'm making sure I got this right. So I don't know who this is. They work for Roto World. And we've had some people swap out, but they work for Roto World. Everybody's heard of Roto World. Jerry, you've heard of Roto World?
I have.
Okay. They took Tet McMillan at the 102. Now, this is Superflex tight end premium 1.75. Okay. That one stuck out to you. Well, we'll go ahead and jump into that because I want to get to my pick because I'm on the clock currently as we speak. And I'm going to make that pick live right here in just like a few minutes. So Tet McMillan 102, what are your thoughts?
I think that's too early. Now, I have been a pessimist around Tet McMillan, don't get me wrong, so take it all with a grain of salt if you're listening. But did his situation really improve beyond what I thought he was going to be? I would say he didn't. So if you're a person that believes in him and you believe that he has the talent to be T. Higgins or Jamar Chase or Justin Jefferson or Garrett Wilson or whichever tier you lump this man into, I think he took a hit by going to Bryce Young. So at 102, there was a lot of good running backs that ended up in a lot of good situations that are favorable to me getting fantasy points. I don't know that that's the case with Tet. Now, he's the only guy of reasonable talent.
I mean, obviously they've spent, they're almost Detroit Lions-esque, they being the Carolina Panthers. I mean, they drafted Jonathan Mingo. I think he was at the top of the second round, though. I don't remember his exact draft, but they drafted him really, really high. Then last year they drafted Xavier Legette. Love him. I think he's great. And then now Tet McMillan. They do have the corpse of Adam Thielen running around there. But I get it. It's a little high for me. I don't know. I didn't look at his particular draft build.
Like how much better does Bryce Young have to be for that pick
then
to make you a profit? Yes. Like he has to be significantly better than he was last year to make that pick return value for you for him. And conversely, all of the running backs and Cam Ward don't really need to do tons to be able to return value.
And speaking of running backs, our boy and retired content creator from the Dynasty Happy Hour, Tyler Gunther, he went Omarion Hampton. Casey Myers, who hosts the FF Dynasty, you can find that right here on the Player Profiler Network. At the 104, he went Cam Ward. Tremendous value. Then Dynasty Rich from the Dynasty Nerds. Everybody knows Rich. He's awesome. One of the most humble, nice people you'll ever meet. He was on the clock, and if you know anything about Rich and the Nerds, he lives in the Cleveland area. Huge Ohio State fan. Huge Cleveland Browns fan. I would have swore he would have taken Quinshad Judkins. But he went the other Ohio State running back. He went Travion Henderson. Then there's Pete Davidson, a.k.a. Rotobahn, okay? I'm like, okay, so I'm like literally one pick away from getting Travis Hunter at the 107 in a league where I need a wide receiver, and I'm like, let's go. Pete, take Quinshon Judkins. And he took Travis Hunter. So here I am on. I know, dude. I wanted Travis Hunter. I took Travis Hunter at the 103 in one of our patron drafts.
Oh.
I'm in. I'm in there like swimwear. And so here are the best available on the board. Again, Superflex, tight end premium. Could really use the wide receiver. I also have the 112. So I think I take Quinshon Judkins and then kind of look best player available, whether that be my guy RJ Harvey, just double tap running back. Because I've got quarterbacks in this league, and this is like, guys, what Jerry and I are doing, we're sharing our teams so that you guys, when you know, this is how we think through the process, so you can think through your process. But it's like I can potentially trade one of these guys later, but like at the quarterback position, I'm just old, right? I'm just old. I've got Matthew Stafford, I've got Geno, I've got Sam Darnold, I got Daniel Jones. So I've got old guys, bridge guys that are scoring points and keeping me competitive, and I can probably get by with it one more year. I really wish that this was a better QB class. We'll see. Jerry, so is the pick Quinshon Judkins? Are we locking that in right here?
I would lock that in. Like that's easy for me, honestly. And then you can bang running back at 112 also, because either RJ Harvey or Caleb Johnson. Let me ask you a question: is Caleb Johnson at the end of your first round or no?
He's right there. I mean,
okay, because he's in for me, but I'm not a Jalen Warren guy. I don't think he's worth a wet fart, and I think Caleb Johnson is.
The pick is in.
Like there you go, attaboy. I think he's Najee Harris. Like he is. Like he's not this great pass catcher. He's more explosive than Najee is. I think he's going to be just fine there. Yeah, I'm not going to get an RB1. I'm not going to get a top 5 guy out of him, but I'm going to get a top 15 guy, and I'm so cool with that at the end of the first round.
Yeah, I'm going to go best player available. If there's a wide receiver I like there, I may go wide receiver. I don't know who that would be. Could be Ibuka. Could be my guy Jalen Higgins.
Let's talk Ibuka. Do you you got to be patient, right? If you're a person that believes in him, you have to be patient. Jalen McMillan showed some stuff. Chris Godwin's back. Mike Evans is there.
Well, because we have people talking about Caleb Johnson in the chat. Let me come back to Ibuka.
We can do that
because I want to get some thoughts out on Caleb Johnson. Where did I say he was going to go in the NFL draft on this very show? I got the round wrong, but I got the team right. Pittsburgh Steelers. And then there's that famous meme of like the dad wearing a maroon shirt, and it's like obviously Father's Day or Christmas or whatever. And he's holding up the exact same shirt. That is the Pittsburgh Steelers drafting Caleb Johnson to replace Najee Harris. They just got a much better value on Caleb Johnson than they did on Najee Harris.
Yep.
If you go to Player Profiler, you look at the athlete comparison, similar 40 speed. I would say that in college, Caleb Johnson was a little bit better. But if you want a guy that, if he stays healthy, can be between RB 10 and 15, which by the way, where you're going to get him in rookie drafts is an absolute steal. It is an absolute steal. So I like Caleb Johnson. I like him quite a bit. The reason why I took Judkins is we've seen a big, fast, athletic back. You said Nick Chubb. That is his most comparable on Player Profiler. I don't necessarily agree, but it's a really good spot. And I'm not super intimidated by Dylan Sampson. I think he's a good running back. But think about some of the running backs we've seen taken in that spot, like a Jonathan Taylor. I think he's going to be fine. Is he going to be maybe hurt a little bit in PPR? Yeah, but I think he's a good blocker. And he's a better pass catcher than maybe he's getting credit. So that's why I went Judkins. I chased the upside. But people will hate on Caleb Johnson, especially once he gets going, because he'll be boring. He'll be boring. He's that
just like Najee, just like they hate Najee.
He's that little investment that pays a consistent annual return. I would say his ceiling could be a Josh Jacobs. I think he could be something like, and Josh Jacobs has been a top 6-ish running back every year he's played 14 or 15 games. That is a compliment, by the way, guys. That is not us running him down. It's not a special landing spot, but I do like him. All right, you want to know about Emeka Egbuka? This is a savings bond. This is a long-term play. This is buying property in an area that that the city is getting ready to recondition and gentrify and make a whole lot more palatable. But you have to be patient. You have to be willing to invest in that area, not 100% sure of what you're going to get. And you're kind of hoping for the Jackson Smith and Jigba, career arc. But Mike Evans is the one more likely to go. One of our own guys, Jesse, who does the Dynasty front office on our network, the Dynasty WarZone, check them out. They stream live on Thursdays. Podcast comes out over the weekend. That's why you subscribe to both channels, because you don't miss shows. And, Jesse was really, going to bat for him. I didn't get it. What are your thoughts?
For Egbuka?
Yeah.
Listen, let's go. Go ahead. What do you got?
No. Go with Egbuka. Okay.
I'm going to go with him because that's where we started. We have the trajectory for this exact same situation. And I need you all to just open your motherfucking eyes and I need you to look. Randy, I'm sorry. YouTube's not going to like that. I apologize. Matt probably won't either. Okay. Yes. Oh, no. It's a terrible situation. Mike Evans is there and Chris Godwin is there. Try and trade for Jackson Smith and Jigba right now. You know what's going to happen? They're going to tell you to piss off. Because they want to keep him, because he's a cornerstone piece. Okay. That's the end of the process. That's where he has emerged. He is the guy. He has all of the value. Is there another person that was drafted behind a whole bunch of people that's a hell of a time to trade for right now and everybody's excited for? Roma Dunze, welcome to the party. Try and trade for Roma Dunze right now.
I would recommend against it.
It's too expensive. Exactly. Because
we'll get into that too.
You're going to talk about Luther Burden taking over for Roma Dunze? Get the fuck out of here, Randy.
Well, then this is why we do it live. There's no safety net. There's no saving you. Egbuka's fine. Like I said, you just gotta hang on to him.
You gotta be patient. He's going to be fine.
See what he turns into. See if Chris Godwin comes back and actually looks healthy and can stay healthy. More importantly, Mike Evans, love him to death, but I think he's 32. Doesn't have long. Egbuka's going to be fine. He's still going to be in that. I don't think he's ever going to be one of those top tier guys.
Nope. Wide receiver 13, 14, right where Chris Olave, Garrett
He's
Wilson.
Devonta Smith. He is Devonta
there you
Smith
go.
from
Exactly.
the Eagles. That is your points per game right there. That is my first one. What else are you seeing? Now, you've done some patron drafts. I've already made a couple of draft picks. What else are you seeing?
It's not so much what I'm seeing. It's what I am feeling when I get into certain spots, right? Once I get past like where you just took Judkins, I feel like I am pretty cool taking Colston Loveland and Tyler Warren. After that, I don't like it. Like, I know you're a Luther Burden guy. Hate it. that landing spot. I really did.
Well, I thank you for reminding me. I don't like the landing spot. That's where you're wrong. I loved the Colston. I would have loved either tight end in Chicago.
100%.
And I said it. I was talking with Theo, a good friend of the show, Theo Grimminger over at Fantasy Points. Check him out if you're obviously not already. Love me some Theo. I was like, dude, the upside for Colston Loveland is literally Sam Laporta's rookie year. That's in the range of outcomes. But then they go out and draft Luther Burden, and they still have DJ Moore, and they still have Roma Dunze. And I know for whatever it is, Alameda Zacchaeus, he's in the mix there too. The problem is that, Jerry, you're a Lions fan. Percentage-wise, does Ben Johnson pass at a high volume or run at a high volume in comparison to the rest of the league?
I mean, he's a runner.
Correct. He when in the run to pass ratio in favor of the run, he's in the top third of the NFL. And in a lot of leagues, he's been in the top fourth. So like he's like one of the 8th most by percentage of plays by the split. And then you add it, and that was in a dome. Now he doesn't have a David Montgomery. He doesn't even really have a DeAndre Swift, Jahmyr Gibbs and that, DeAndre Swift, that people try to. I think Roshan Johnson was a little bit of a winner, given that they didn't really do a bunch.
If he has a pulse, then yes.
But I love this for Caleb Williams. If you invested heavier last year, because much like Genty was the lock 101 this year, Williams was the lock 101 last year. Between the offensive line additions, and they also brought in a blocking tight end, Durham Smythe. They brought him in. They still got Cole Kmet there. It's that crazy proverbial too many mouths to feed. If the Podfather was here, he'd hit me with the cliche alert, but it's like, so you got a coach that likes to run more than he likes to pass. You got a bajillion guys all wanting targets. You're talking about a highly paid wide receiver, a first-round wide receiver, a first-round tight end, a highly thought of, a bit of a quote-unquote diva in Luther Burden. You got Cole Kmet. You got the running backs. It's like, this is not Detroit. This is not Ben Johnson in Detroit, whereas Amon-Ra, Sam Laporta, the running backs. It's not that clean in Chicago. It's just not.
No.
So that's why I'm out on Luther Burden. I'm working on my rankings, but currently I believe I have Luther Burden 4. A week ago, 7 short days ago, he was my wide receiver 1. I hate that landing spot so much. He is my wide receiver 4 currently. Now, part of that was as I boosted up Travis Hunter.
Yeah.
Part of it is I hate that landing spot.
100%. Not mad at you. I think it's a solid move for the Bears, and I think eventually he'll become an annoying piece that you can start on a bye week or with some injuries, but I don't foresee a situation where he's ever going to be like a superstar there, and that makes me not want to take him.
If I'm a team with some salary cap leverage, I'm going out and seeing if DJ Moore is available. People have been retweeting and reposting that press conference with Ben Johnson. Everybody's assuming he's talking about DJ Moore. Maybe he's available. I think we're going to see more late spring, early summer trades leading up to camp than we've ever seen. Because they can designate guys in their cap hit, whatever, to post June 1. Don't be surprised if we don't see more trades than we've ever seen. So in our Patron 1 league, Jerry, no one's made a pick yet because the gentleman on the clock, Australian. A lot of Aussies in the Dynasty WarZone Patreon leagues. God bless you all. We love you. All right. In Patron 2, which is also going, we've had 3 picks. Are you ready?
I am.
Jerry Sinclair, 101, Ashton Genty.
Sounds fair.
It was a stretch, Jerry. On the 102, Austin, who's a co-host on the Dynasty front office, he went Cam Ward.
Yeah, then, you should read a little bit better because me and him actually traded. He had the first pick.
In fairness, I'm using the phone. And then Aaron took O'Mary and Hampton. So that was the 1, 2, 3. All right.
Easy peasy.
Then in Patron 3, going into that draft right now, already on what looks to be the 108. So you're going to love this. Aaron again, Ashton Genty. Dave, Cam Ward. So Cam Ward, guys, it just tells you in the Ultimate Dynasty Podcasters League, it looks like Casey Myers got really strong value with Cam Ward at 4 in that particular league. Your boy Memphis, I had the 103 in that league. Travis Hunter. I couldn't hit the button faster. I'm not entertaining trades. Fuck out of here. I'm going right to Travis Hunter. I'm getting my first Travis Hunter share. Thank you so much. Then a curveball, but he's a man of conviction. Jesse from the Dynasty front office. He went Tet McMillan. Then when you don't have a name that I understand what it is, I can't give you a shout out. But pal, Omarion Hampton. So Omarion Hampton has went as low as 105. Travion Henderson. Travion Henderson 106. Quinshawn Judkins 107. So that's 2 out of my 5 drafts so far where Judkins has went 7. Jerry, does 7 feel like that firewall, that final pick, that's a big tier. Tier is the word I'm looking for.
It is, but I will add the 2 tight ends onto it. If you're in a tight end premium league.
Which all these are. Which all of these are.
So like once you get past 109, then I think there's just a steep drop off, because then you're picking between RJ Harvey and Caleb Johnson and Matthew Golden and like
Abuka.
There's which those are not like terrible picks to have. They're a little riskier.
They're less of an easy button.
Yes.
And then finally in Patron 4, we're through 4 picks. We've had Matt went Ashton Genty. There's a theme. He's not went 101 anywhere. Omarion Hampton went at the 102. That was by Matt via Brian. And then Chad, also from the Dynasty front office, he went Travis Hunter at the 103. So it feels like Pete, a.k.a. Rotobon in the Ultimate Dynasty Podcasters League, got tremendous value with Travis Hunter at the 106 in that league. And then I went Travion Henderson at the 104. And now I could have went Cam Ward there, but I'm stacked at quarterback in this league, and I'm a little thin at running back. So for me, once you get past those 3 for me, because that's another tier for me. Genty, Hampton, Hunter, that's a tier. And really, once you get past Genty, I don't care what way you go. You just do what's best for your team. If you're loaded at running back, take Travis Hunter at 102. If you're loaded at wide receiver, take Omarion Hampton. If you need a quarterback or just feel like hoarding quarterbacks, take Cam Ward. It really becomes.
I've had 102 twice, and I could have gone either way both times, and I split it. The one I went with Cam Ward, the other time I went with Omarion Hampton.
All right. Well, that's what's going on through our patron leagues right now. Like again, Neil, our admin, just turned that on again. He's Scottish, but he lives in Australia. You figure it out. He just fired everything up a couple of hours ago. So we're just getting started. But one thing I want to throw out there, Jerry, I'm going to give you a job. Are you ready?
Yeah, shoot.
Okay, perfect. So you got to look for the first 3 names that pop up in here. So we had a late, one of our patrons had something happen in life. I'm not going to get into it. Doesn't really matter. Don't care. But that created 3 orphans right before. The rest of them had been filled. We didn't even have that many. The new patrons filled those. But we want to get these drafts going. We have 3 spots. We have 3 orphans. So the first 3 people that says, pick me in the chat, and make sure you put your email or your Twitter handle so one of us can get a hold of you. Jerry, you're going to write down the first 3. That's your job. Are you ready?
I am so ready.
Okay, you good.
I got my Pilot G2, the pen of all pens, sponsored by Dynasty WarZone and Player Profiler. Please, just send me free ones. That's all I ask.
Just send Jerry free ink pens. It's not free, but it's very helpful. Could probably use it during this time of the year. The Dynasty Dominator.
Hey, what if I told you there was a Dynasty app where you could get player lifetime values, evaluate trades, including draft picks out to 2028, compare the advanced metrics of 2 players, look up the sentiment buy, sell, hold on players. Well, there is a mobile app that has all of that and more called the Dynasty Dominator, and it's $5 in the App Store on Google Play. This is my gift to you, the most affordable Dynasty League domination app available today. And if you already have it, the 2025 class is ready to download. Let's go.
There you go. $5. It's like, hey, you know, I don't want to be in a patron or whatever, but you know, I got $5. I mean, I'll be honest, as expensive as cell phone bills are, if you legitimately download a $5 app, you're not even going to feel it. You're not even going to notice it. You know, my wife lives with that. Anyway, we're going to move on. We're going to move on with the show. Let's talk a few winners and losers. We recapped everybody. I think sharing the results of 6 drafts, literally the Sunday after NFL draft, I think that's helpful. I think we've gotten a lot of round 1 ADP. If I come up on the clock in any league, Jerry, I'll let you know. You do the same, and we'll see if we can do another live pick. Give me a winner. Give me a rookie. Give me a veteran that you think walked out of the NFL draft as a winner.
RJ Harvey. He got good draft capital, 60th overall, sort of in that Jonathan Taylor, Kenneth Walker, sort of that range. DeAndre Swift, like we can complain about DeAndre Swift, but he's still been a name we've talked about for 5 years. And he got a nice landing spot in Denver where there's not tons of competition. We lost Javonte Williams, who he probably would have been better than to begin with. And he was not really a guy that I expected to be taking. I am excited about RJ Harvey. All of those like borderline, like my championship rosters, if I still have those picks, I am thrilled to add RJ Harvey to it.
Well, I was live on, you know, by the way, we validated this. No one has a larger percentage rostership of RJ Harvey on Fast Draft Origins. That's the pre-NFL version than me. 66, two-thirds, of all of my Origin drafts have RJ Harvey on there. And I've also got a bunch of Quinshawn Judkins. I said on Twitter on Saturday, I was like, let Ollie Gordon get a good landing spot and just send me the money. Yeah, we were all stoked. The Podfather was stoked. I was stoked. Cody, Alex Dunlap, everybody was fired up. And you know, it's good people, bad tweets, but there are some tweets that make me want to reach through the phone and slap someone in the mouth. The next person that says RJ Harvey's right at the age apex, I don't give a shit. If you're worried about RJ Harvey 5 years from now, when he's 29 or 28 and his rookie contract's over, you are doing Dynasty wrong. This is why you need help. This is why you're listening to the right show. We're going to straighten you out. If you think RJ Harvey being, 24, 25 years old is a problem, you're dead ass wrong. Yeah, I get that, but he spent all those years in college. He's on a really good offense, the highest that Sean Payton has invested in a running back. We know this guy is going to get touches. He's mature, at least in age. I've never actually spoke to him. Seems to be a nice enough fella. And so we got that going for him. Yeah, Jerry, I think RJ Harvey is an absolute winner. What about a loser? Who was a loser? Big loser. Give me a rookie loser. You're a loser.
I mean, Shedeur Sanders is the loseriest loser that has ever existed in Dynasty value drop-off.
I wish I had like a boxing bell sound, because I was trying to drop him to the end, and I was going to make him my final winner. I think Shedeur Sanders absolutely. He's the best quarterback in that room. He could be the starter no more or later than if he had went 33 overall, right? There's a real world where Joe Flacco is going to start. Maybe Kenny Pickett, but I don't think so. They didn't bring Uncle Joe back. The new Sleepy Joe. They didn't bring Joe Flacco back to not give him the start of the season. But I don't really care about the whole rigmarole. It was a good landing spot. It was one of the best landing spots. And he's a guy that literally could be the starter by the first week of October. And I look at it this way. I said it this way with Billy and Bradley Stalder when I was on with them. It's like, do you remember when Conor McGregor fought Floyd Mayweather?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And Conor McGregor had nothing to lose. It was all upside. If he gets beat, he gets beat by the best boxer in the history of the world on some lists. And if he somehow won, he beat the best boxer in the history of the world on some lists, right? Oh, and you're going to get $100 million. It's win-win. Would you say that Cleveland has a quarterback contract issue in Deshaun Watson?
For now.
Okay, and what did drafting Brock Purdy do for the 49ers? It allowed them to get out of a huge mistake they made with Trey Lance.
Yeah.
If Shador plays well, okay, he allows you to take that big financial punch in the teeth that would be cutting Deshaun Watson, and he could be your quarterback for the next 2 or 3 years. And here's the thing. They traded with Jacksonville. They have 2 firsts next year. And they play in a really tough division, and they're probably not going to be very good. So if you have 2 firsts, that gives them the ammo to maybe go up and get the quarterback if Shador doesn't pan out. This is a win-win for everybody in Cleveland. If he can get his ego in check, he can come in and do the work. It'll be a win. I'm still investing in him in leagues.
Not a chance. I watched 32 teams pass on that man over 4 times. Now, I'm not good at math, but that's over 120 picks before this man finally went.
All right.
I want you to imagine that you're at a bar and you have a round of drinks and you look over at the girl and you go, no, not yet. Or guy or whoever. You go, nope. And you down another round and you look over and you go, nope. Another round. Nope. Another round. Nope. Another round. And then finally, you're the ugliest guy in the room, which is what the Cleveland Browns are. And you've now had 5 rounds of drinks and you look over and you go, okay, now's the time. Do you think that's going to end up as a good situation, Randall Young? No. Hell no. No, they're going to have multiple first-round picks to get the replacement.
It could end up again. It's nothing but upside. If you start him and you see nothing and you go 4-12, congratulations.
Listen,
you're the 101 next year, and you can get rid of him.
He doesn't cost you anything. But as far as me relying on him for my teams that I want to win on, no, absolutely not.
See, this is how you get rich in Dynasty. You buy the dip. All right, we have a super chat, and I want to make sure to honor the super chat. Mr. Cameron Myers. Cameron says, Jerry, he has the 101, the 104, the 106, the 112, the 201, and he's talked with another team that has loosely offered the 105 and 2 future firsts. He is loaded everywhere. At least I'm assuming it's Cameron. Cameron's a dude. Could be a lady. Remember Cameron Diaz?
Sure.
Actress back in the day. So Cameron, we don't know. We don't assume here. And they are loaded everywhere but running back. His best RB is Braylon Allen.
That's not ideal.
My friend, I will answer for me and then let Jerry answer for Jerry. I'm sticking and picking. I'm sticking and picking. I'm going to take another running back at 104. I'm probably going to take another running. If you truly are stacked everywhere else, quarterback, wide receiver, tight end, I could literally walk away from this draft with 101 Ashton Genty, 104, depending on the format, superflex, tight end, premium. I walk away with Travion Henderson. 106, I get Quinshawn Judkins. 112, I get RJ Harvey. 201, I get Caleb Johnson. And you can clap your hands together. You clap your hands together and say, I just solved that problem, and move on. And then you literally have, what is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You have 5 running backs that are all rookies. I understand. But remember how productive the rookies were in 2017? You hope that if 3 of those guys hit in that range, you're crushing. You're absolutely crushing. If 2 hit, you're still doing fine. And if just Genty hits, then so be it. You took a swing, but that's why you acquired those picks, the 105 and 2 future first. Your time is now. If your team is loaded, get those running backs. Again, I'm always going to go back to 2017 where Kareem Hunt, Alvin Kamara, Christian McCaffrey, Leonard Fournette, all those dudes come out crushing it. If you're loaded, truly loaded, and these guys, 3 of them, 4 of them, they come out, crush it for you. They're going to etch your name in the trophy. They're going to hand you a big fat check. Actually, I'd prefer cash or direct deposit,
True.
little instant payment, but you do you. But yeah, that's what I'm doing. Jerry, what are you doing if you're Cameron?
100%. I'm just give me all the running backs and F everybody else. If you needed running backs, this was the class for you to take all those shots. Brother, you got all the ammo. You are set. Just go continue with the process that you wanted to do.
The big thing that I'm telling you, you're going to be thrilled. So Cameron, I wanted to get that worked in because I saw that, and I'm very distracted by shiny things, and I would have glossed right past your super chat. So I wanted to make sure to get you bumped up to the top of the queue. But yeah, I mean, with Sanders, it's like there's enough blame to go around for why he fell. I still let me ask you a question, Jerry, the overall draft evaluator. Okay. You don't have to go Mel Kiper Jr. and fist fight me here, but were there 30 players in this draft better than Shedeur Sanders?
Probably, but
okay.
not many more. Not many more.
I'm going somewhere. Were there okay. 40? Were there 40 people better?
We'll say maybe.
Oh, okay.
Probably not.
Okay. Were there 50 players in the draft better than Shedeur Sanders?
I would say no.
Okay, perfect. So you mean to tell me, so we'll just do the math. 144 will round up to 150.
Okay.
You got a guy in the third part of that equation that should have went in the first third. That would be like getting a guy who's supposed to go 101 through 105 in your rookie draft somewhere around 202, 203.
Yeah.
That would be getting Travion Henderson at the 203.
Yeah.
That is a steal. That is a steal. Now, from a dynasty standpoint, I get your hesitation. I totally get your hesitation because he doesn't have much insulation. But correct me if I'm misquoting you, but I don't think I am. You are the guy who would not bend over to pick up 3rd and 4th round picks if they fell out of your pocket. So you can't have a whole lot of regard for seconds.
No, I don't.
So if you could get a guy in a superflex league, exact same thing. If you're the champion, you probably got good quarterbacks. Or maybe you rode the back of a guy like Sam Darnold, an older guy like Matthew Stafford, Geno. I'm in that boat. And you get a chance to add a guy who, although the draft capital is bad, the talent is good, the situation is right. I think anywhere after and we'll have more data this time next week. I think anything around 203 in a super flex feels okay. I'm still taking Jackson Dart ahead of him.
Of course. Okay.
I mean, he's still my QB3. I mean, he fell from 2 to 3. I like the Jackson Dart landing spot. What, you're not vibing with that?
No, I'm fine with that, but it's also because after Jackson Dart, I don't care. Like I just don't. Like I'm if Taylor Sharp and everybody else, like I don't care. You mean nothing to me in Dynasty.
Well, I think you're confusing the landing spot with the talent. Shedeur Sanders was like what, a 70-some% completion passer.
100%.
It was in the Big 12, so it's not exactly the SEC or the Big 10, but he's a pretty accurate passer. That system fits him. I'm not lumping him, and I like Kyle McCord, and I liked Will Howard, and I liked a bunch of those guys. Those are guys I'll be taking in the 4th and 5th round of my rookie draft. But I'll be very curious to see that as drafts get going, what his actual ADP is.
I don't disagree with you that it will creep up higher. And right now, the press is very much on the Jerry bandwagon, where it's just like, I don't want anything to do with you. So I hear you. And once you get to like 204 in this class in a superflex tight end premium. Like, I'm going to take shots on some of the tight ends that have had second round draft capital. But beyond that, if you're set on tight end and you don't want to just take best player available, I don't care who you pick, because this class gets ugly real quick.
Well, it gets ugly based on the tiering value. If you get in that, I think it'll be 203.
Once I hit like Jaden Higgins, right? Like, there's a lot to like. There's a lot to hate.
I loved it for
after that. It just feels like I'm just blind throwing a dart.
Jaden Higgins was my guy. I loved that pick for about 20 picks.
And then they took his buddy, his Ames brother.
Dude, it was like, oh my God. And by the way, he's like the same height as both of them. He literally got the T. Higgins, Michael Pittman Jr. draft capital. There's only Nico there. A little Dalton Schultz. They brought in Christian Kirk. I was like that famous meme of Homer Simpson salivating. And then, like, literally, was it a round later?
Yep.
They take, Jalen or Jaden Noel, and I always get them backwards, Jalen and Jaden, but that broke my heart. Not to the degree of the Bears, but man, it was just perfect. Nico's the beast that gobbles up all the targets. And then it went from a Colston Loveland situation where I loved it. I was super excited. I was like, now what? But again, going back to another winner, CJ Stroud. If you were someone last year in a startup, and maybe you were one of those ones that bought the hype and you got him as like QB 2 or 3 overall, you're out there. You're out there. This was the best thing to happen to you. I want to end the Shedeur thing on one thing. A lot of people blame his dad, and I love Dion. If I'm an older guy, you see, I got Bo Jackson over my shoulder. He resides here in the podcast studio with me. But my second favorite athlete growing up was Deion Sanders. I had the CD. I had the glasses. I was yes. I know you can't.
Randy Super Bowl halftime.
Oh, dude, did the dance, everything. I was a huge Deion Sanders fan. The problem is that Shedeur thought because his dad could do it, he could do it. The problem with Shedeur is that he's a good quarterback. He's deserving of, to our earlier little exercise, top 30 to 50 player off the board, but he didn't have his dad's talent. His dad could walk into the New York Giants room, and when they hand him a test the size of a phone book, they said, "Where are you drafting?" And he was like 11. He's like, "I'm not going to be there." And he was correct, because Deion Sanders is one of the best football players of all time. It's not a question. Arguably the best defensive back of all time. The problem is Shedeur thought he had that level of clout coming into the league, not because of the skills that he had, but because of his last name. That was his mistake. What did I say last year? I like, and it happened to all of them. It happened to Josh Allen. You got to send out 300 DVDs trying to get a college job, and you wind up at Wyoming. Then he got his shot at Buffalo, and the dudes made the most of it every day. I'm hoping Shedeur shows up to Cleveland, immerses himself in the offense. He finally gets away from his dad. I would just say I'm rooting for the young man. I can't tell you how fucking stupid I would be if I was 21 years old. My dad was an NFL Hall of Famer. I had millions and millions of dollars. I'm not that smart at my current age, much less 21 in that situation. So I ain't holding it against him. True. I believe you have to have a healthy amount of ego in this world just to survive. He may take it a step too far. I don't know. I wasn't in the room, but I'm still gonna be having a healthy share of Shedeur, Jerry.
I'll probably take a couple stabs, but before we get out of here, real quick, Randy, Matthew Golden, he was the combine hype. He got
that's a weird way to say Henry Ruggs.
Boy, that's what I wanted to hear.
I'm not backing off that.
I mean, listen, I don't want to say he's Henry Ruggs, but I hate the situation. I really do. I think Green Bay spent a first-round pick on another wide receiver too. I think they are just throwing mediocre ass wide receivers into a pile like it's the bargain bin DVD case, and there's $3 DVDs, and you just reach into the wicker basket and you grab one, and that's the wide receiver that you have for the day. Like, I think Jaden Reed is fine. I think Matthew Golden is fine. I think Romeo Dubes is fine. Christian Watson is not. But I don't see anything good with any of it. I hope that I'm wrong. There's a person that I'm not going to draft, because a lot of you are going to love him and a lot of you are going to take him earlier than I'm willing to do it. And more power to you. I hope you're correct. I hope that I am very wrong and I can crap on myself in the future about it. I just don't like that situation.
The only thing that I could see that he has going for him is the draft capital. So I went to Our Lads, and God bless those people.
True.
God bless those people. They've already got updated depth charts. And they have Romeo Dubes as the starting left wide receiver, Matthew Golden as the starting right wide receiver, and then the slot wide receiver, Jaden Reed. But then they still have guys like Savion Williams, who they just drafted, Christian Watson, who they drafted super high, Dontavian Wicks. I mean, they have McCole Hardman, and I think he some of these guys aren't even going to be on the roster.
McCole Hardman's still in the league. Look at that. Good for him.
He is listed as a kick returner and as a third string slot wide receiver. But Jerry, you and I both play deuces. Play poker. And you know what I look at when I look at the Green Bay's wide receiver group? I see 4 of a kind. I see 4 deuces. I like it. I mean, Matthew Golden, Jaden Reed, Christian Watson. I'm not even sure Romeo Dubes is a 2. It might be like trip deuces and a dangler off to the side. And I'll tell you, let me just end the Packers talk on this. If I had to pick one pass catcher from the Packers, just give me Tucker Kraft.
100%. I'm with you.
Just be done. And I love Jaden Reed. I thought Jaden Reed had a chance to be special. Corey Walters in the chat, full house. Yeah,
it is. You got Luke Musgrave and you got got Tucker Kraft.
3 deuces and a pair of jokers.
Yeah.
I'm
with you. And you're also just with that situation, not to go too long on this show, but you're also just assuming that Jordan Love's going to get better. I mean, he threw
63% pass completion throughout,
which is fine, but we saw
not nowadays.
I mean, no, I know, but it's fine. But we saw 4,200 yards, and then he missed a couple extra games this past year, and he was 3,300 yards in 15 games. We saw less touchdowns. It doesn't seem like it's improving. And I don't think Matthew Golden is going to be the thing that makes it jump dramatically. So I just no, because there's a lot of people that are going to take him 110, 109. Somebody's going to get horny and take him at 107 or 106 or something. And I just, no, thank you. I am good on that. I respect you if that's what you want to do. It's just too risky for me.
So Jordan Love, he played all 17 games in 23, attempted 579 passes. Okay.
Fine.
He completed 64%, so 372 completions. Now, divvy that 374 up among 6 wide receivers, 2 tight ends because Luke Musgrave's still there, and at least 2 running backs will be involved occasionally in some checkdowns. Just do the math.
Yeah.
It's going to be the exact same thing with the Bears. This is one that I'm getting out of. Unlike the Bears, though, it's like, at least if you have Tucker Kraft, it's kind of like how I feel about Cade Otton. I really like Cade Otton, but they just continue to bring in more pass catchers, which I think the NFL is telling you something. The one thing I will end on, and you can have the last word, is I think all these tight ends going tells you that we're going to see more 12 personnel than we've seen in a long time. I think you're going to see a lot more 2 tight ends lined up at the end of the line of scrimmage. One of them maybe moves off in motion. I think the Bears will do a bunch of that. I think you're going to see a bunch of it. And I actually asked the guys this, so I'm going to ask you, Jerry. Okay. How much money would you have lost if I told you through 2 rounds, through 3 rounds of the NFL draft. So day 1 and day 2. And I gave you the choice, but you had to bet a lot of money. Would you have bet that there were more running backs or more tight ends taken?
I would have said running backs.
And you would have lost money because it was actually a tie. It was 6 of each. We have 6 total tight ends with day 2 draft capital.
And you know what's awesome about that is it's all the ones that we've liked. The Mason Taylors and the Elijah Arroyos and the Harold Fannons. It's like all of them. It wasn't like somebody took.
Who was Mason Taylor competing for targets with?
For the Jets, nobody.
Exactly. Garrett Wilson, again, same thing as we said earlier. About Brian Thomas
Terrence
Jr.
Ferguson against with Tyler Higbee. Okay,
dude,
who gives a crap about Tyler Higbee, right?
Well, I will say if I've learned anything about Sean McVay over the years, he has a large amount of veteran deference. So I know but Terrence Ferguson, that was their first pick of the draft.
Yeah,
that means something. And
100%.
Man, what if they ended up letting him play some of that Cooper Kupp role? And they start, obviously Puka's the man there. Puka's the man. But I love that one. Elijah Arroyo with the Seahawks. I think him and AJ Barner, like you expected them to go like really super high wide receiver there, but they didn't. And I think you're going to see a lot more. Noah Fant.
There's a reason. Yeah,
there most certainly is a reason. But man, we will have more of this next week. I'm working on a guest. I don't want to put it out there and ruin. Oh, by the way, Harold Fanning to be the other tight end next to David Njoku. Yep. I think you're going to see a lot of these 12 personnel, and they're really going to try to create some major mismatches. Old school Gronk and Hernandez. Gronk throw you out the club, and Hernandez will shoot you in front of it.
Oh,
Jerry,
Jesus.
I can't think of a better way to ask, but we'll be back next week, and we'll be able to get more than like the first 6 to 8 picks in a rookie draft. We'll continue to get into rookies. It's going to be a long off season. I mean, by this time next week, we'll have completed 20 patron drafts, including one startup in there. God bless Neil. And we're going to keep us busy, Jerry, but
yeah,
we are sharing what we're seeing out there in the real draft streets so that you're able to benefit and be prepared going in, Jerry. Anything to add before we get out of here?
Nope. I mean, just the only reason we do this kind of stuff is to give you a platform, a structure to sort of see what we're seeing, and then you can make your own decisions. If you have 2 first round picks and you want to, wait on a guy. Also, we're just gonna, we're gonna crap on Matthew Golden. That's also why we're here.
I would be talking about these rookies anyway. I've been doing it all day in our Patreon group chat. Might as well let these good people in on it. It really should be. It really should be. This is where the NFL gets it right, by the way. And by the way, if you're looking for any more fantasy advice,
sorry.
Yeah,
let me interrupt you while I got it. Can we stop booing Roger Goodell? Like I'm sorry.
No.
Randy, Roger Goodell has turned the NFL into the wonderful game that we see today. I get to watch the combine, every single step of the combine. I get multiple days of the NFL draft. The product is the premier sports league on the planet. And we've seen it in our lifetimes as Roger Goodell has been the NFL commissioner, and you boobs boo him every single time at the draft. Wild. It's absolutely wild. I get that it's popular. Dude's great. Sorry. I hate to tell you.
I think at this point, it's just a tradition. Exactly. Rubio in the chat. Rubio, you nailed it, brother. It's the tradition, Jerry. It's like the Masters. Whenever what's his name, Jim Nance goes, a tradition unlike any other. Roger Goodell getting booed is just a tradition at this point. I would be more upset if he didn't. And if I were Roger Goodell, I'd be more upset that I didn't get booed.
I'm just saying, like, I don't understand the hate for the guy. Like, he's made the game better.
Do you remember
inarguably?
Do you remember Chael Sonnen, the UFC fighter?
Yeah.
He used to say that boos are a heel's cheers. So if you're the bad guy, boos are actually your
That's
cheers.
fair.
It means
That's
you're
fair.
doing your job. I think one thing to look out for, maybe even as soon as like this year, maybe next year, be on the lookout, because I've heard this, that the NFL, you speaking of all the good stuff Roger Goodell's done, he is looking to put together a 10 to 12 week package of international games
100%.
that will stream on Apple TV. They are trying to create something outside of the existing television contracts that brings in more revenue. It could be Netflix, it could be Apple TV. Obviously, YouTube TV already streams, Amazon Prime already streams, but don't be surprised for you true degenerates. And I feel bad for the West Coasters, but you know what? Now you got to get up early to set your fantasy. Now you got to get up early to set your fantasy football lineups on top of having to pay horrible taxes. That's what you get for living on the West Coast. That's your choice. But yeah, for those of us like Jerry and I, it will be football from 9:30 a.m. until midnight. We're talking 15 straight hours of nothing but football, a bunch of standalone games, that early game standalone, the Sunday night game standalone. You get that, it would be a nice way to start the day. My wife does not like that I'm looking at my phone in church on Sunday morning, but I'm like, hey, I'm looking for a Hail Mary, a different kind of Hail Mary. But we're going to get out of here. I hope you guys enjoyed the banter at the end. We will continue to do this, not because we're lazy. Well, Jerry is, but not because we're lazy, but because it's important for us to share what we're seeing in the rookie drafts, and that we can able to share it with you. Maybe you don't have one till next month, or we heard Alan last week said he had one in late June. I think someone said they had one over the July 4th weekend. They all get together and they do it live. So we'll continue to put out the rookie content. It is a wonderful time. The one thing the NFL gets wrong, Jerry, the one thing, not moving the Super Bowl to Saturday. NFL draft ends on Saturday. The combine, for the most part, ends on Saturday.
They'll never change it. I agree. I hear you. But you're gonna talk. It's tradition to boo Roger Goodell. Yeah, Super Bowl Sunday, brother. You talking about breaking the tradition? But listen, I'm for it. I'm for it. I hear you.
All right. I could keep this going all night, and if you let me, I will. But we're gonna get out of here. I love you guys so much. Positive in the chat tonight. Everybody kept this thing rocking. Thank you to everyone who dropped a comment. Cameron, thank you for the super chat. And the rest of you D-Gens, catch your ass down the road. See you guys.
Hey, I want to thank you for being part of this broadcast. If you have any thoughts on it, leave a comment. If you enjoyed it, make sure you leave a like. And if you want to see more shows on the Player Profiler channel, subscribe to it. That's how we know you want more.